I have so many feelings right now.
Yeah, we're together.
We're together in your new house.
Super fun. You're sitting in my dining room, which we affectionately call the diner.
I love it. I also, God, I'm such the hot mess friend. So I'm driving over here and I realized right around the corner
Uh-huh.
is that guy from the summer,
The guy from the summer.
the boring one.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I will probably leave under the veil of darkness.
How close are we talking about to my place?
Like if I run around the corner, I'm at his house.
That's too close.
That's too.
That's like spotting in person territory, which I don't want you to have at all.
I mean, like I wouldn't say it ended badly for me.
How different is it if the person is boring versus not? Like, do you feel worse for breaking up with somebody if they're boring? Did you tell him he was boring, or did you just said this is
I
not
think the
working out?
term breakup. I
Right.
mean, I also wouldn't say that I ghosted. I think I just I think anyway, it was known that it wasn't going anywhere.
He knew that as well?
I think it was pretty obvious the last time.
Yeah.
I anyway, speaking of energies,
Mhm.
so I would say that that's kind of been the theme of the day. So in addition to the exciting energy of being in your new place, you and I were playing phone tag this morning.
Yes.
I love that we were both phone tag because we were both doing our gym thing.
I
Love that.
called you on the way home from the gym,
Yeah, and I was just getting to the gym.
and then you subsequently texted me in between squat rack
I did. I did.
exercises,
And
which I don't think is safe for the record. I do not
it
condone
was
that.
racked. It was
Oh,
racked.
they were on there. You weren't
Yeah,
sort
I
of like
wasn't like
mid
squatting
squat.
and texting because you
Got
still
it.
need your hands. And I wasn't in that dangerous zone where someone's like, "Oh my God, this person's on their phone." Like I
Yeah.
was in my rest time frame. But I love that we're both in the gym.
And then you called me on the way home
I
from the
did
gym.
call you on the way home
Yeah.
where my lungs were still in my throat because I decided to torture myself on the ski erg.
Explain the ski erg for people that may not know exactly what that means.
I do believe that this is a torture device. So as
Yeah.
somebody who grew up rowing, I like the erg. I mean, maybe it's a love hate, but I would say I like the erg. So the ski erg is vertical
Yes.
and you pull it with your arms and it becomes like a full body thing. I like that I'm
Okay.
doing the motion, but my lungs were burning in a way that they have not burned in a very long time.
Well, the up down movement adds a new complexity to it, of which that's not like a natural type of movement. Because I feel like when you're
Not for
running,
the last year for me anyway.
you're the up down, is that what it was?
There hasn't been a lot of
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. Oh no.
that's TMI, but anyway.
I get it. Okay, wait. So how long did you use the ski erg for?
So, borrowing from our time at F45, I was doing the 45 seconds on, 45 seconds off.
Smart.
Yeah, so I was doing cycles of that. I made it 6 rounds.
Okay. That's impressive.
Yeah, and then when I could no longer breathe, I decided I was done.
I think that's good. I mean, first of all, I can't take it seriously because it's called a ski erg. I will need to look up exactly the origins of that. It seems like a ridiculous
It's the
made up.
ergometer.
Oh,
It's the
okay. That
ergometer.
makes way more sense.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the ergometer, which is actually a thing that measures your pace, your kilometers.
Ah,
Again, this is a rowing thing. They just flipped it upside down. Someone made
got it.
multi-millions off of it. But yeah, in addition to things that need to be explained, I need
Mhm.
somebody to explain something to me.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Capri pants are back.
Yeah, I think they've been back for like a little while. I want to say like a year or two. Are they back with full force?
They were on Zara's website last night.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense though, because they say sort of every 30 years, I think fashion
Third
trends,
years?
30 years, 30
30
years,
years.
fashion trends come back. So we're talking
You just
90,
reveal.
95, 96. That's I guess the era of the
No, it
Capri.
was later than that. I feel
I
like
don't think so.
I feel like I was out getting drunk while wearing them.
Okay, well then maybe you held on to the Capri pants for a very long time in your wardrobe.
With the
Kitten.
platform,
Yes.
Steve Madden.
That was definitely high school for us. Anyways.
We are the same vintage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I need that explained in addition to that like bandeau halter top thing and the like handkerchief.
Oh,
tops.
I'm into that style, so I can't really say anything.
I'm
I've rocked
into it, but gravity makes it not possible for me anymore. Or
Yeah.
at least this time around. and there was something else that that army cargo shirt thing that's tied up, ruched.
Have not seen this.
It's not good. It's not good. But I digress. I digress.
Okay, so that was thing number 1 you needed to talk about. Get off your chest. I
Yeah,
will
there are a
keep
lot of things I need to get
observing.
off my chest.
What about thing number 2?
So, before I get into things that I need to get off my chest, I'll also share another positive.
Okay.
So, when you and I finally caught each other on phone tag,
Mhm.
you were sharing that you were feeling like a positive surge of energy
Yep.
at this time in the year. And then I started getting woo woo, as I do.
Yep.
And I was explaining to you that the year of the snake is ending,
'Kay.
which was 2025,
Mhm.
and that the year of the fire horse is about to begin, 2026, and that it's being ushered in with February in like the Chinese lunar calendar.
Yes.
And where my woo woo continues to go, and for anyone listening, the year of the snake was to shed your skin.
Oh,
So the things that like
wow.
no yeah, so the things that no longer served you, the things that like needed to be left in the past. So if you were someone who was maybe in a rebuild year,
Ding, 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 ding.
had things that you were like sorting through, whatever, like that was very much what the year of the snake was supposed to be. And then you shed the snake
'Kay.
and you emerge into the year of the fire horse, and it's like a
I love this.
phoenix rising from the ashes.
So, I mean, obviously, this isn't just a 2025, 2026 thing. So, in the
Like
Lunar New Year,
has it happened
like
before?
like how often does that happen? Do you know that, or is that something we have to get
I
back to?
feel like it was, if you've got do you where's your phone? I feel I'm probably gonna be wrong, so don't quote me, but I feel like it's like this hasn't happened for like 100 years or something like that.
Oh,
I
wow.
could be wrong, but
Okay.
I feel like it's been and okay, I won't go too far with this, but apparently years go in cycles of 9.
Got it.
So maybe okay, so maybe I got something wrong. Anyway, yours go in cycles of 9. So then this starts off the next 9-year cycle. So if you want to think back in your history, you
Hmm.
could kind of reverse engineer to whenever your last snake year was and whatever big changes that you went through and the year that followed after that. I think the 100 years was something lunar. I don't know, way
Okay.
too woo woo. But
All right. So the
you've got it.
phone confirms the transition from the year of the snake to the year of the fire horse is a rare, powerful event that occurs once every 60 years.
60.
So that's pretty impressive. The last time that happened was 1966. The next time the fire horse year is going to happen is 2086. So
That's a long
obviously,
time. We won't be
we
here.
well, I
So
mean,
this
it
is our only
could
snake
technically happen.
to
This is our the only snake to fire horse
so
transition.
so don't fuck it up.
But this makes sense. I mean, you know me. I'm not a woo. I'm
No.
not gonna like openly talk about it, but people dangle things like the suns and the moons and the lunars and all these things in front of me. And then it makes me think, like, is that just a random coincidence? Probably. Could I attach things to it? Probably. Or is there something more significant behind it?
I have to believe, especially if you think of the fact that like things are documented and we've got charts and there are births, like I do think there's a science to it, and I won't go too deep into it because I
Okay.
could probably do a whole like sidebar masterclass on this. But like all of this was how we kind of managed our lives before the church
Yeah.
came in.
Yeah.
And then like gave us structure and whatever. But
Allegedly.
like
Yes.
if you think of the societies and the cultures that all kind of map back to this in a time before the internet, a time for whatever, like
Mm.
how did they all just coincidentally have like similar mappings?
Yeah. I mean, often from different cultures that existed at similar or different times
Yeah. And you're
all
a
over the
Virgo.
world.
You're a Virgo.
Yes.
And your traits are
I'm a
being
cusper. Yes.
super clean, super organized.
Yep.
Things as somebody who's seen your new house, I would say that all those things are true.
Valid.
I'm a
Yep.
Scorpio. I'm definitely all the things of Scorpio. And apparently Scorpio and Virgos make good friends.
It all makes sense,
It all
doesn't
makes
it?
sense. It all makes sense.
So we've done a few episodes already, and it has been about the shedding of the skin.
Mm.
Um, in some ways physically because it's winter and
I'm not shedding shit in the
my
winter.
skin is dry,
Oh,
is
that.
what I was gonna say. Uh, but metaphorically
Mm,
gone through some moments. So you said earlier that you do feel this positive surge of energy in 2026, as
I
do
do.
I. Oftentimes that correlates with the new year. True.
Yeah.
I don't love to set sort of a long list of resolutions, but one thing I love to do is always set a word of intention.
Oh.
I do not know what my word of intention is yet because I like it to come to me as opposed to
Provided
me.
by the universe and the zodiac?
Sure, if that makes you feel better. Um, and sometimes, like, I just wake up and I think of the
There's a
word, and I'm
word.
like, This is exactly what I'm feeling," or "This is the intention that I want to set for the year."
Okay.
So, do you set, okay, resolutions, or do you set intentions, or do you just go with the wind and see what happens?
So I think it has changed as I've gotten older.
Mm.
I would also say that it has probably evolved as a result of my last year and a bit,
The
right?
shedding of the skin.
The shedding of the skin
Yep.
and the complete implosion of
Mm.
the life that I thought that I was building. But I would say I think I'm on a gradual improvement scale.
Cool.
So one of the things that I was acknowledging after you and I got off the phone this morning, as I felt my lungs still in my throat from the ski erg, was like, I really love it was not a New Year's intention, but I love how um, insane I have been in the gym the last 3 weeks and like
Yep.
just like the way I've really been pushing myself because I think I was like fake hardcore last year.
Yeah, like you got up and that was enough. And maybe you should like
Yeah.
celebrate that side of it, but that's not the Jordan, hardcore Jordan I know, the former rower, the now
Yeah.
ski erger.
The ski, yeah, the no ski erger, but like, yeah, so I was
Yep.
getting up at I would say consistently kinda like 5:30, 5:45 in the morning doing like I have a gym in my home, so the home
Hmm.
workout but I wouldn't say that it was the most challenging thing
Yeah.
that I was capable of doing versus this year, I'm like, "Okay, let's get it going." So I no, not an intention. I think there's an energy where I feel like I'm naturally in a stage of progressing. Um, yeah.
So
I
you
it's just
feel like you've got that energy back, that motivation back in the gym.
100%. I
Yeah.
feel like just generally I would actually say generally, I feel like my energy is very different right now.
Yeah. Well, we're also seeing sunshine after a
I
period of
know. It's, like,
intense
glaring in the
darkness
driveway.
outside, which definitely
It's
helps.
yes, it
Do
does.
you, so in sort of the vein of the New Year's and resolutions, New Year, like, did you wake up and you're like, "I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna have positive energy," or just think that's where you're at?
That's a great question. I mean, I did wake up in Mexico, which did help.
Yep.
I think I woke up just kind of looking at the new year as a like very clear turning the page new
Mm,
chapter.
mhm.
Things that I no longer wanted to hold on to or talk about or have lingering in the back of my mind
Yeah,
and just kind of carrying a new intention. And I would say, and I can give you a few examples, I
please
would say
do.
that I can like point to some key moments.
Okay. Indulge, please.
Actually, this is very relevant.
Okay.
So when a couple nights ago, I went to an alumni mixer that my university had put on. So basically, they had reached out to just kind of all former alumni. They kind of set the parameters of the business mixer. So there were folks that were in like technology and various industries. I'm
Mhm.
obviously in tech, and anyway. So first of all, I went alone.
That's huge.
I didn't look for, like, a former alumni
No.
wing person. I will being totally truthful, I did text, one of I'll just be honest, my university boyfriend
Yeah, whatever.
to ask if he
Sure.
would be interested in going. He said, "Absolutely, insert expletives here, not." Not because it was going with me, but he's he didn't leave on the greatest of terms.
Got
But
it.
anyway, so I was like, well, I'm not going to let your lack of attendance ruin my lack of attendance. So I went. So I went solo. And then I actually approached people. So there was like a mixer section before they were actually going to formally have us all like working the room. I went up to a table of women and kind of like introduced
Love
myself,
it.
kind of spur the
So good.
conversation. They ended up being really great, but it was very unlike
So what, normally you have your circle of comfort.
absolutely.
And then if forced networking from a business standpoint, but you will not be the one to proactively go introduce yourselves in social situations.
Like, I would actually say that I think I'm shy.
Is that a new revelation for you?
No, I've always known that
Okay.
I was shy.
Okay.
I would yes, I know that I'm shy.
And I'm the literal opposite.
You are the literal opposite,
I
which is
know.
why I usually use you as a buffer.
That is true. And I'm happy to be that buffer. I'm that person where you would whisper to me, I don't remember that person's name. And I will just insert myself into the conversation, introduce
Same.
myself to find out.
You've done that.
But yeah,
I actually really wish that we weren't on separate sides of the city now, because then you
it's
would be at
true.
the gym that I go
Yeah.
to, and then the guy that I crushed on from a distance for months, I could have just pointed you in
I
his
would have done
direction.
it.
I You
Absolutely.
would have done it. You
Absolutely.
and maybe we would be,
Yeah.
but then
Well,
again,
then
whatever's meant for you.
I'll come as a guest. We can arrange
You can come
something
as a
here.
guest. You can come as a guest. But
Your shyness should not be an inhibitor to potentially meeting the man of your dreams.
I mean, I do feel like if he was the man of my dreams, that the cosmos would somehow direct him. Anyway,
Well, the
we're
other side is you've embraced your shyness. You now went out
working through it.
to an alumni
I
event.
did.
So maybe the next thing is introducing yourself to this beautiful man, I assume.
I mean, we had one conversation, but I talked to him about hamstrings.
Yeah, well, like, I guess I don't know. You're in a gym. Like, I don't know if that's like the sexiest conversation,
I
unless
mean,
he
his are
had
pretty,
sexy
yeah, his
hamstrings.
are pretty sexy. But oh, so here's the other thing. So at the alumni mixer,
Yes.
so when we actually did have to start working tables, and maybe this is divine intervention, I ended up speaking to a woman who is a former kind of like worked her way up the kind of corporate ladder
Okay.
in big corporations and consulting firms, who now runs her own firm where she is fully focused on helping women navigate
Love it.
toxic workplaces,
Yeah.
like harassment suits, like all of these types of crazy. So she has enough volume of work that she has her
Yeah.
own firm where she's running these things. And actually, one of the women at the table that I had met earlier was looking for a job. I connected them anyway. But I think what was really interesting, so I ended up having a conversation with her about some past experiences that I've endured or things that I knew other people had endured. And she was telling me like how commonplace
Yeah.
it is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like pay parity, still not a thing. Workplace
Yeah.
harassment, still a thing. Like all of these, like women going on medical leave, still, and
Yeah.
corporations just being like, oh, well, we're gonna let you go while you're like crazy things.
Yeah. So did she dive in? I mean, I know you were sort of at this mixer,
Yes,
so
I did get her
it's kind of,
business
I was
card.
going to say, you got to have a follow on
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
But is her interpretation that some of these things are just gaining more light? And therefore, that's why we're able to actually address them head on? Or she just thinks that there's a complete lack of accountability, lack of
Mm.
acknowledgement from the corporate side, likely from the male dominated side?
She had some very interesting opinions that we did
Okay.
dig into. So the first thing that she did touch on is that there is an acknowledgement that this is not normal
Yeah.
behavior or good behavior,
Perfect.
and that women are coming back to the work after having, or sorry, coming back to the workplace after having kids, having to navigate things, seeing things, or women that are working their way up the corporate ladder are naming things like burnout,
Yeah.
or recognizing that they have autoimmune diseases, or when they hear things like, I remember when harassment or harass used to be a 2-letter word, ha ha ha, or getting like groped, or men literally
Yeah.
propositioning themselves when women are trying to negotiate a salary, like
So
crazy
true.
things are now things that you can name. The other thing that she said, which was very interesting, is she said she meets a lot of high performing women
Hmm.
that don't recognize their own value.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, we've both suffered, still probably suffer from that all
Agreed.
the time.
Agreed. So she was actually sharing that a lot of what she does start to uncover in her practice are women that have maybe some lack of recognition of their worth and their value, and it
Yeah,
affects them, yes, in the workplace, but it's easier to name it in the workplace than it is in their professional lives or personal lives.
I'm not
Sorry.
surprised.
So she did have a conversation with me about making sure I recognize my value. And I thought that was, considering a lot of what I have been digging through last year, I thought that was very timely and maybe the cosmos getting woo woo with you. Woo, woo,
Did
woo.
she provide you any with helpful tips? Or was it just a general recognition, women to women, that we need
Yeah.
to uplift each other? We should pick it up on a vibe, something you said.
Yeah, she definitely was picking up on a vibe, which I thought was interesting. We are
Did you
going
corner her, pepper her with questions, and she's like, "Okay."
I did not corner her. I did not pepper her. We were having a lovely, consensual conversation
Over canapes. Yeah.
over canapes, and as we were really starting to get into it, the MC started playing. I like to move it because that was the cue for everyone to change tables, which I
I
didn't
love
love.
it.
But we
Yeah.
did. She did give me her business card because I would like to have a follow up conversation with her. But I also thought was interesting is that was one of two conversations during the week
Mm,
that felt very in line with a lot of what we've been talking about.
yeah,
So, you may remember me harassing you on Thursday night.
I do. And I apologize because I was in New York for work. I was surrounded by people. I saw these long texts coming in. Had to do a brief scan, like, oh my God, is she in danger? Like, what is happening? You know, you do that calculus, like, do I have to exit, pick up the call? Can I pause? But also, they were very long and took me about 3 times to read to understand what was going on. But I do want to apologize
They were voice
because
text.
I felt like you needed me in that moment. And the true after call, I was eating a canapé surrounded by people and I could not leave at that moment. But I'm sorry, carry on.
I will say that, I don't think Siri likes me very much because my
Mhm.
voice to text never I mean, 1, I think I ranted because
Right.
I did look back and look at it. 2, I think, it was -20. I
Yep.
was bundled. I think there was some muffling, so I could understand why you wondered whether or not I was safe, but what I thought was interesting, so I met one of my very good friends, for dinner. We did indulge in quite a bit of pizza, and through that
Uh-huh.
conversation, she first of all, she was like, "So glad we're here, getting together, whatever," and then immediately flipped into the, "I need to talk to you."
Yeah.
So we were talking about, a variety of things, and then what I thought was extremely timely is she started telling me how grossly mistreated my words, that she is currently getting, at work,
Yeah.
and I will break it down into these key pieces of the story. I have worked with this individual, so I know that she is badass and phenomenal at what she does. We also know I don't dole out compliments easily, so take that for what it's worth. She has been at this organization kind of twice. She boomeranged. She left when she had been there for 4 or 5 years, left, went to another organization. This organization wanted her back,
Yep.
pulled her back in. Her performance review this year was 5 stars. She was one of 2 other people that got, like, this exceeds expectations rating.
Impressive.
Glowing reviews, the full executive team, she's done phenomenal, phenomenal things. Didn't get a bonus, didn't get a promotion.
Did everybody else? Did
Yes.
other people? I mean,
There were other people that did who didn't have the same rating. And she found out that they got bonuses. What
mm,
she has also found out is that the sister company to her company is hiring for a role that's the same role as hers, same level, same role
mm,
description, and the starting salary is 25K
of course
more
it
than
is.
her base salary.
Right.
So I did start talking to her about potentially the value, like how you value yourself, how to maybe structure a conversation, and what I call the exit strategy.
Yes. And we do have another episode on that. But what I
We
find
do.
fascinating about this is that I think corporations are not keeping up with the times where people talk now, right? Like it used to be very
Very verboten.
taboo
Very
not
verboten.
to share your
Yeah.
salary. But because there's still this pay discrepancy,
We talk about
because
it.
people are coming in at different times,
Yeah.
because like the internet and like life and emotions have been
Fishbowl,
democratized, fishbowl,
Glassdoor,
that
LinkedIn.
like people talk about it.
Yes, as you
Like
should.
you know what your predecessor made. I know what my
I
predecessor made.
do.
And they both had no problems. Like disclosing that information, or you were able to access that
I
information.
was able to access that information. Yes.
So I feel like it's a miss on companies' parts to be so naive to think that you're not going to find this out.
I think transparency is an issue.
Yeah,
I also think going back to the value conversation, and this is part of the advice I gave her. And if you haven't listened to the previous exit strategy, I would encourage that, but I'll
absolutely.
snapshot some of it. So I gave her some advice. I said, look, you have a great rapport with your boss. I know her boss. Her boss is a pretty stand up woman who's also
Hmm.
navigated the ladder and some of this stuff. I think it's worth having a conversation. I think it's fine to explicitly ask,
Yeah,
why is it that I got this performance review? Why is it that I got this standing and all, but I didn't get the bonus and other people did? I think that is a fair question
absolutely.
and it's not antagonistic. It is a fair question. I also think it's fair to ask, is there a path for me to get there
Yep.
within the next 6 months, 12 months? See what those conversations are, but also keep in your back pocket the fact that you know that the sister company managed by the same board of
Yeah.
directors and leadership team are hiring for this
Yeah.
role and it is public domain, meaning they've posted the salary for this role out there on the interwebs, so you didn't find it in any nefarious way and to ask.
Well, it's law now too that
It
you
is
have to
law.
post the salary range. So you can't hide
You
behind it
can't
anymore.
hide it. So to very much say, why is this being, and if it's a market adjust, then you should be receiving the
Yeah.
same market adjustment. Because here's one of the things, and I say this as someone who has not jumped, but moved from organizations strategically at times, as
Mhm.
we've discussed before. Sometimes if you're in an organization, you can get stuck in a salary band
Yeah.
because you may only get the 1 to 3% market adjustment every year versus if you go to a new organization, you could be going up 25K on your base.
I mean, I just went through this process.
It's insane.
I was, got a promotion and I was given a nominal bump. I asked for 25K more and they just gave it to me.
Ooh.
I know. It wasn't a
I'm
negotiation.
proud of
But
you.
but the point being,
But
like,
why didn't they just offer that then?
well, that I know, I'm not gonna dive into this because that's a
Sorry.
whole other
That's a whole
conversation,
other,
but
but you knew your value.
I knew my value and I said, "What do I have to lose?" Right? Like, I knew the number I wanted in my head.
25K.
I know,
That's how
but
much you would have
that's
to
what I
lose.
mean, right? Like, what do you have to lose by asking that question? But
I
going
think it's worth
back
asking.
to your point about asking the question, what they say in terms of the answer also says
Tells
a
you
lot
everything.
about the company
Tells you everything.
and a lot about how much they value. So the first thing is, do you know you're worth enough to say something? Yes, absolutely. Inherently, we do. It's just getting over that hump.
Yeah. The
And
sweaty
it's
palms.
uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable doing it,
But do
but
it.
how they respond.
Yes.
And if you do not feel like in that moment they truly get your value, then you got decisions to make. You don't want to work for somewhere that doesn't value you.
So I even said, so she is in a very healthy relationship with a lovely man.
Yep.
And I had said to her, I said, if this was a relationship and you felt
Mm,
this undervalued, would you have the conversation? She was like, absolutely. And to your point, if in that conversation you don't feel like you're being heard or you're not being valued or you're not going to be able to mitigate it, what would you do?
yeah.
She's like, well, I'd probably leave the relationship. I was like,
It's a relationship. Isn't the same? It's the same.
it's the same
Do you see a
thing.
light bulb like
There
go
was
off in
definitely
her
a light
head?
bulb moment,
Yeah.
and I broke it down for her where I was like, "Look, I understand that you love this organization. I understand that you've accomplished amazing things," and she
Yeah.
has. She's launched new like, but I also said it might be time if they don't see your value for you to take all those skills and move to another organization because what I think it does to people, and I will say women, just based
Mhm.
on is I think it starts to make you question yourself and
Totally.
feel a certain way where you're like, "Well, why am I getting all these accolades and successes and recognitions, but you won't then give me the remuneration that I am then owed?"
Yeah,
So I think it eats at us.
absolutely.
And then I think we work harder.
Absolutely. But you're right. Everything is a transaction, everything is a relationship. We just have to treat it that way.
Ugh, it's yeah. So I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
I also felt having that conversation with her, the conversations that we have had, that this is very much a systemic thing.
Yeah.
Ironically, meeting that woman that's running her own firm in these areas, helping coach women through these things and coach women on having like this is a big important topic.
Yeah, it's like universally shared by a lot of women, regardless
yeah.
of where you're at in your life, regardless of how successful you are. I think the question about value, the question about shit like that women experience paved the way for us, 60 years ago is still around,
It
unfortunately.
it is, but I think that that's the thing that's scary about what right now for me.
Yeah.
So if you think of everything that's going on in the world, I remember having this conversation with my ex's daughter. She was 15 at the time. I remember explaining to her that women in Canada only had the right to open their own bank accounts in
I know.
1974.
Not that long ago.
Like, that
Yeah.
is within some of our friends
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
in that age demo.
Yeah.
So when they were born or when they were children, they would have they wouldn't have been able to have access to a bank account. Their moms didn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so what you had to ask your husband,
That's your
presumably.
husband for everything.
What did you do if you weren't married? Did you ask your dad?
But it's not that you were so if you
Like,
weren't
was that
married and you were a
which was
spinster,
also weird at the time, I guess.
well, you would
Yeah.
have so apparently you would have lived still in your family home. Or if you had
Um,
an aunt or a family member that wasn't married, or there were these like homes for
mm,
unmarried women where I think you were given basically an allowance, but like you were in like a boarding house or a rooming house or but like 1974 is not a long time ago. I also found out this is going on it that it wasn't until like 1990 that you could still like rape your wife.
no.
Yeah, because it technically wasn't rape because
Oh, because in a
you were
consensual
married. Yeah,
relationship, I
so you're
guess. Now that
married.
but I think this is still a very much a topic of not necessarily legal dispute, but it happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't
I mean,
wanna
I'll have to invite
I don't wanna well,
my friend who's a lawyer who deals with a lot of similar cases like
yeah,
this, sexual harassment as well
yeah,
cases
we've
in the
definitely touched on
workplace.
this.
She's gonna come on the pod because I think this is super interesting.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, that is really horrifying, and that's a whole other topic of
yeah,
discussion that, like, my heart, in all honesty, cannot handle at this moment.
well, because I
But
think
I do
it's
think it's incredibly important because it is very often that this happens. So
it
we
makes me
will,
sick.
yeah, we will go back to that.
Yeah, but going back to where I think I was trying to land the point before I took a tangent was so if you think of 1974 being able to have your own bank account, that was also correlating to then actually having the ability to have a job.
Yep.
And then, as we know, pay scales were different because there
Mhm.
was the assumption that there was still a man paying the primary bills. So you were either working to help offset your husband's lower wages or whatever it was. So there was that kind of deviation in terms of the pay scale. We times have changed, decades have gone on, and that, but we still never really solve for that. So
No.
if I think of someone like me who is still unwed, I don't have anyone offsetting
Yeah.
that gap, but I still get paid less than the
Yeah.
male wage. But anyway, that's a now I'm just venting.
So you're the fire horse then.
You're the fire horse.
We're shedding the old 2025.
Yeah, I think
We still got shit in the world that exists that we've got to deal with.
yeah,
That remains true.
yeah. But gonna deal with
The
it with a different energy.
disparities remain true, but
Yeah.
the takeaway is know your value,
Yes.
become that fire horse.
Yeah.
The world, as you say, the clouds, the
Yeah, I
whatever is
think that you
circling
shed
around
the
us
yeah.
is
Oh, yes.
literally gifting
My
us this
cosmos,
your
the zodiac.
cosmos is
Yeah,
gifting us the opportunity
yeah.
to
Do with
embrace
it
our
what you
inner
will.
fire horse.
Take whatever is destined for your zodiac this year and make the most of it. And I think the things that if you're shy, if you're feeling like what are those things that hold you back that may be things that you have created that become
Yeah,
your personal boundary, and if you break through it and go talk to people that you don't actually know at a mixer or a party or the cute guy at the gym.
proud of you.
Obviously I still need to I haven't done that really yet,
We'll get there.
but we'll get there. But I just need, like, fuck it, why not?
I agree.
Yeah.
All
So
right. If
anyway,
I could do a horse sound, I would as an exit, but
I mean, I grew up with horses, but I don't think I'd try to
no,
make
we
the
don't need to do it.
noise.
We don't need to do it.
But anyway,
We'll
I
just
mean,
end with a bye.
go forth and fire horse. On that note.
Thanks for being part of the after call. If this felt familiar, you're not alone. Hit subscribe, leave us a comment, and share this episode with a friend. See you next time for more real talk about the beautiful, messy chaos of life.